Welcome to our Bouyon Day panel discussion representing for Generation Y. Good afternoon to my panel. Who do
Good
we have
afternoon. Good
here?
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We have Arade, Maskman Moses, musician, producer. We have Dan Amare, previously known as Daniel Mark, um, singer, songwriter, producer, published model. We have Jodie Williams, Mr. Williams, a producer, engineer, Dominican born based in the US. We have Mr. Mekhel Lee, musician, super instrumentalist, producer. We've got Andrea Louis, who will be joining us later, a media representative for Flow Mapping 2K4 Limited. And we have Shelly, lead singer songwriter for Bouyon band, Signal Band, who will be joining us later today. Guys, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
So we're here to have a good time and to discuss and share. We're going to talk a little bit about Bouyon music because, well, guess what? It's Bouyon Day tomorrow, and we just wanted to do something from Generation Y. As you know, Generation Y is this generation. We're born in the 90s. We're pretty much called millennials, but we're the ones at the forefront of everything right now. We're in our late 20s, early 20s to 30, some of us 40 years old. And we've got this online community on Facebook that we want to share with today. Just kind of talk a little bit about the Bouyon music, which means so much to us, who are all Dominican, although singer-songwriter Daniel Mark is based in the UK and Jodie Williams is based in the US. The rest of us are based here. We're all Dominicans, and this is like a special thing to us. So we want to do something for Bouyon Day. Guys, welcome again. Why don't you guys take like 6 seconds each to introduce yourselves to our community? Actually, we have viewers to our website. We have viewers from Guadeloupe, Martinique, France, St. Lucia, Ireland, Canada, United States. You name it, Montserrat. We have viewers tuning in right now. And we just want you guys to just give a quick introduction. Daniel, let's start with you.
My artist name is Dan Amare, singer-songwriter, producer, and model. My family's Dominican, but born and raised in the UK. And yeah, just check out my Instagram, and you'll see a lot more of what I do.
Thank you, Jodie. What about you?
Yeah, Jodie Williams, producer, engineer. Formerly, well, in the music world, I'm known as Boss Roll Beats. So pretty much, grew up doing music, grew up in Dominica as well. And when I moved to the States, just carried that talent and that drive with me, and started pursuing the same goals. So we're here right now.
Thank you so much. What about you, Arad?
My name is Arade Moses, or aka Maskman. Music producer, musician. I've been doing Bouyon music for the past decade and more. I'm Dominican based, so you can check out my work on Facebook at Arade Maskman Moses or Maskman the producer. And if you want to see credits, then you can go on the Triple K, Acer, Signal, and a few more other artists.
All right, and we've got Mr. Mekhel Lee with us today as well. Go ahead, Mekhel.
Yes, my name is Mekhel. I'm from Tarspit, Dominica. I am a guitarist, drummer, bassist. I do a lot of performing, but now because of COVID, I've been transitioning to more session work, studio work. And yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Black on the Drums. I do a lot of stuff, videos on Instagram, trying to get into the YouTube, and yeah, let's see what's going on.
All right, and Mekhel is our multi-instrumentalist. And of course, you know me, my name is Dilma. I'm representing for Generation Y Dominica, our online community. You can check us out on facebook.com and Instagram and our website, generationYdominica.org. Okay, guys, let's get straight into it. We're talking about Bouyon Day, and Bouyon Day has actually been around since 2016. When they first started Bouyon Day in Dominica, and the whole point of Bouyon Day was to raise awareness of the Bouyon music. It's our thing. Talk about Bouyon music, and it's a big thing. Bouyon Day, was put together by a lot of the people that are instrumental in the Bouyon music from a very long time ago, since 2016, and it pretty much comes up on a day every February, and just to kind of recognize the art form, keep it alive, and just kind of support the music and keep it going. Tomorrow, as I said, is Bouyon Day, and we just wanted to have a quick panel of professionals in our age group, sound professionals, engineers, and we have, like I said, Andrea, which is representing for the media team, which will be joining us later today, and Shelly from the Signal Band, which is our artist on the panel. Guys, welcome again. We're gonna get straight into it. Generally, before we begin into what it means to you, generally, according to the original pioneers of real music, how did real music where did it come from, right? Basically, according to some of the pioneers, Bouyon music was kind of put together to, what, I'll say better with a quote. I'm going to quote Cornell Phillips in an interview that he did in 2017. He said, quote, "When we were growing up, the cultural movement was dwindling, so we saw it fit to revitalize the traditional rhythms of Dominica. The acoustic instruments in the electronic age, we wanted to bring it together. And Bouyon music is just the modernization of the traditional rhythms of Dominica. Bouyon music is a direct descendant of the Jinti music, Lapo Cabwit, Belin, and Quadrille." That's a quote from Cornell Phillips. So he's saying it's basically all the traditional stuff that met and
Yeah, that's pretty
electronic.
solid.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
traditional music mixed with electronic music, and that's what they did back then, right? Where are we now? We're a couple decades into the future. So many things have happened. So we just want to get together as Generation Y Dominican, see what we think, see what's going on with the music, in honor of Bouyon Day. How do you guys feel? What does Bouyon music mean to you personally? Anybody?
It's like a vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like it brings people together. That's like one of the main things I see in Dominica that bring a large group of people together. You know what I mean? Like a large group of people and all on the same vibe, on the same wave. You know what I mean? Like, and for me, like the way the locals respond to it. You know what I mean? It's just you see people going crazy. You know what I mean? It's like you can tell they one with the music. You know what I mean? And that's always like what you want to see when it comes to music. You know what I mean? The vibe. And to be honest, I feel like the culture too. You know what I mean? Like it tells the truth. Booyah tells the truth. You know what I mean? Like something can happen yesterday. Like and then tomorrow you hear the song. You understand? It's like the truth. It's like the news. Like you know what I mean? Like real time. So that type of connection, like it's close to the people. Like you know what I mean? So
As
that's what it
Asa
is
would
for me.
say,
It's
it's
just
breaking
vibes and
news,
like
right?
yeah, exactly,
Hey, Rod, what do you
exactly.
think?
Well, for me personally, Bouyon music is life, and because I grew up in the culture, it's like it's automatically part of me. So that Bouyon music I would see in Dominica is just the life of the people because there's no other music that can get people to dance when you're in Dominica but Bouyon. You
That
understand?
is
And
true.
Calypso may be doing everything, but when it comes to the road and when it comes to the parties, Bouyon music, you just can't get away from it. Understand? So it's to me, it's life. Yeah.
100% agree. 100% agree. I mean, as a matter of fact, um, because of COVID, we cannot have no Bouyon music playing too much, because people are just gonna start gathering, and that's
Yeah,
a problem. It
you
only takes
find
one Bluetooth speaker, for
right.
six, seven people to show up, right? What do you think, Daniel?
Bro.
For me, it's very interesting. So because I grew up in the UK, when I first came to Dominica and heard Bouillon, I was like, what on earth is this? I have but then eventually it grew on me, and like everyone said, it's so high energy, and the rhythm is it's infectious, it's syncopated, it's simple, it incorporates so much. So I would say in a way comparable to people who don't know Bouyon. If you think about Afrobeats and the way Afrobeats gets people dancing, it's the same thing. There's something in the rhythm that pulls you in. So yeah, it's joyous, it's fun.
Mekhel, tell us a little bit about what you think.
Bouyon music for me is hands down the most infectious type of music, dance music there is, like hands down. Like I've been in clubs and well, not all over, but clubs in Dominica, and it's like you can play rap, trap, you can play soca, you can play all kind of stuff. But when those syncopated beats of the bouyon come down and you hear that rhythm jamming, everybody moving, everybody's moving. So
Everybody.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, for our
Gotta go
viewers
to the
that are
point.
not from the Caribbean, because like I told you guys, we have a lot of European viewers, and so for our viewers that's not from the Caribbean, you can check out Real Music on YouTube, so you get an idea, or you can visit Dominica. Once border restrictions and everything is back to normal, and you see what we're saying. Like you could have never danced a Bouyon song, and you just stand there, and then, like we say, let the rhythm take
The
control.
control.
You understand me? You don't need no
Facts.
choreographed moves. You don't need no hand movement. You just feel the rhythm, right, guys? They know what I'm talking
Can
about,
be as
right?
simple. It
Right.
can be as
Yeah.
Hmm.
simple as chipping
Sometimes,
noise.
sometimes all you need is the rhythm.
All you need is the rhythm, right?
Like you
So
don't need to physically dance. So once you're there and then your head must move at a certain point in time, you don't have a choice.
Yeah, for
so
real.
you'll see for yourself one
Man.
day. So since we're on that, like I'm glad you said all you need is the rhythm. Let's talk a little bit about that. We want to touch a little bit on real quick the cultural differences, then versus now. Bouyon has been around since the 1980s, and we have original pioneers like Cornel Phillip, like I said, Ra, WCK, First Serenade Band. These are the pioneers of the Bouyon music. And initially, when it came out, like if you would listen to the rhythm, you hear a little bit of the conch shell. You hear some accordion, some trombone in the background, some drums, what we call in Dominica lapo cabrit, because it was goat skin drums from our African heritage. So you hear a lot of those instruments in the rhythm, as well as the electronic sound, the keyboard, the everything that we know right now, which pretty much just was just like a new flavor, took Dominica by storm. Like even right now today, Aaron, you can probably tell us. I think Saint Lucia is doing bouillon now. Is that true?
Well, try to. I mean,
Okay.
I would say somewhat of a subgenre. I mean, their stuff sounds nice, but they can really do bouillon like a Dominican person do bouillon. You understand? There's
Ah,
like
that's
literally, if
true.
you're born in Dominica, you can go anywhere across the world, and you'll just end up doing bouillon music naturally because that's where the root of it comes from.
But the
You know what I'm
bouillon
saying?
catching on, right? Guadeloupe,
Yeah,
Guadeloupe is doing French, some
yeah.
Creole
They have their
bouillon.
own style. They have their
You
own style
know,
of bouillon music. Yeah,
So bouillon is a pretty versatile thing. So I'm
very
glad
much
we're
so.
having this talk today. Jody, thank you for joining us. Thank you for touching base. Is there anything else you want to leave? Because we know you got to run.
So I actually have to go record in the other room. So but it was nice, like like joining in for the split time that I was here. Like I know it's gonna be a good discussion. Like I like the energy in the room. You know what I mean? Like everybody's like enthusiastic about it. So I know what I mean. Just stick with the program. I mean, for me, before I leave, I just wanted to say like like if you're doing music, regardless if it's bouyon or whatever it is that you're doing, like what I mean. It's all about the vibe. It's all about the creativity. It's all about the culture. You know what I mean? And like for me, where I would want to see Bouya go is like just be on a bigger stage. You know what I mean? Be more like international and be on a bigger stage. And I know like with that's like what most of the people's goal. You know what I mean? For Bouya, especially the locals, they want to see us like get more appreciation for what we started. You know what I mean? Especially as other cultures try to embrace or even do what we doing. Like nah, it's our thing. You know what I mean? So we have to take it and bring it to the stars. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's all I really have to say for now. Sorry I have to leave you guys.
Thank you for
Very
joining
nice
us.
meeting you.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Peace.
Alrighty. Thanks.
Bless
All
up,
right.
bless up.
Yeah, so Jody had to leave, but we're gonna continue our discussion right now. So yeah, so like we were saying, good that he could join us. We're talking about the lyrics, lyrical changes. We used to have songs before, like, um, wow, so many songs. Balance Bate. There's so much. There's so much. But if you listen to the lyrics, there's always some storytelling in there. The artists found ways to tell like political controversies, in the lyrics, or talk about something that's happening that people don't want to talk about on the surface. There's even a line in one of his first serenade songs from back then that says, how does it go? I can't sing, guys, but it says, a song we sing to make people happy, so much controversy. You know what I mean? So the artists, were pretty much kind of like Calypso a little bit, but with like just a festive vibes. It's like the voice of the people through the music. What do you guys think of that?
I would say the music before was more like mask in a certain way. I mean, they would talk about the everyday situations, but it would have been said differently compared to now, which is just maybe like I would say raw, and they would just give it to you as it is. So before it was like little, it was a little subtle. I mean, some persons would know what actually is going on, but the way they structure the lyrics, it was more or less for you to try and figure it out compared to now you just know what happening right away straight from whatever they sing. You understand?
Mika, what about you?
Yeah, definitely. And I think like the Creole influence was a bit more deep back then when you have songs like Medbay, where partially the whole song is in Creole.
Right.
But it's also, as Maskman said, in that kind of double entendre kind of thing where you have to know what's being said under the surface of what's actually being said. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like a calypso kind of writing style that they used to use. It's still here in Bouyon, but
Mhm.
they still have it like raw and direct. Like they will give you something that is raw, but the double entendre is still there.
We I mean, then versus now, guys, a huge transition from my point of view. Some of the quality aspects are still there. Certain artists have still maintained a little bit of the Creole influence in their music. Like for example, Rio. Rio has some songs where there's still a lot of the Creole going on there, and I appreciate that. Stasha has some songs where you hear a little bit of the Bouyon flavor, the traditional music. It's embedded in there in the rhythm. So I appreciate the fact that some of the newer artists are still trying to hold on to the traditions. A major concern of mine personally, and you guys can help me or maybe help me figure it out, is the lyrical content. We've experienced quite a shift and quite a change. Or for me personally, that's what I think. Some of the songs, before we used to use it to do storytelling to bring about issues that people will not say on the surface, but are very serious and important issues, which I feel is an important way. That's one of the points of being an artist. If you look like artists like Bob Marley, for instance, Bob Marley didn't just sing because he was talented. Bob Marley was a major figure in bridging the gap between peace and violence in Jamaica at the time of his existence. Guys. So
I would say I would say there's been a natural shift to an extent as well, because I think you don't really have many Bob Marleys today. Do you know what I mean? So I think even besides Bouyon, we're seeing that shift, and I think that's more to do with, speaking of generations, the current
Yeah.
generation, the kind of music that they're into, and the kind of the stars that we see now. Just to compare it to more kind of international, Megan Thee Stallion and these people, there is less in terms of the lyrical content. So I guess to an extent, it's following that as well. Which
Yeah.
I think the concern I understand as well is because it kind of opens it up to everyone, absolutely anyone and everyone can be an artist. Anyone can be a bouillon artist or a rapper, and then kind of the quality it does go, because absolutely everyone's a rapper, and yeah.
right. Thank you so much for that, Daniel. Even a lot of the bands that, aside from the people that are now emerging on the Bouyon platform, as you say, anybody can be an artist now. A lot of the people and bands that have been here for a while, they've had the responsibility of actually maintaining the quality. And I have seen some of the pioneers, I have seen clips on the media of pioneers calling for us to preserve that quality, but I see it slipping. The Bouyon has become, in some instances, more of a chant, rather than actual lyrics. The rhythm is still excellent, don't get me wrong, but what are we saying? And that's a major concern of mine personally as somebody in my generation. What about you, Mekhel? Do you have anything to add in that regard?
Yeah, with that, like in that regard, I noticed that anything in life that doesn't have some sort of control or gateway where a threshold where someone can say this is good or this is bad, objectively or subjectively, sometimes things go out of the rails. Like if you don't have train tracks, where does the train go? It just goes anywhere. So with that being said, when Bouyon was invented or came together, there was no sort of handing down system of the Bouyon. There was no teaching method of the music structure. There was no teaching method of the lyrical structure. It was just like, oh, you're from Dominica, so know how to do that, do it. And
There's
because
no
of that,
foundation.
a lot of people who entered the Bouyon sphere didn't have any intention of upgrading Bouyon or staying in Bouyon. They just, wanted to wet their hand, catch
Try a
themselves,
thing.
entertain their friends, anything. It was pretty much anything. But because of that, there was no like real handing down of the knowledge. Like if somebody say Bouyon is in 16th notes, some people be like, "What are you talking about?" Because I speak music, but no one really sat down and say, let's do this about Bouyon music. We've created it, we've invented it. Let's hand it down to the people now."
Aaron, what about you?
Yeah, add to what Mekhel was saying. I think before the music was a bit more structured and more, um, yeah, it was more structured and had some sort of foundation, but to a certain extent. And the reason why I say that is because the creators of the Bouyon music, I think the Bouyon was actually written. Right? If you look at WCK, like some of their songs are actually musically written, and we kind of lacking that in today's music right now. So the music is missing that part of it, and so all that comes back to a structure and foundation which was never put in place to actually lead the path to at least keep it on a straight road. I mean, here and there you would have one or two corners. There's always be I would say nonsense type of songs, but there's always some songs that has to be right on track. But the basis of that is the foundation wasn't really there to guide persons who was interested in it, to tell them, okay, well, this is the right way to go. Even if you take a left or you take a right, but eventually you'll end up back on the straight road again, or something like that. So I think that goes all across the board in most genres. So if you look at like R&B and hip hop 20, 30 years ago, and you look at it now, it's like you could put that same concept into perspective. And so that's what I think about that.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. And especially as Bouyon, as we said earlier, it's our thing. I think it's time that whoever's in charge of, this broad area of keeping the quality of the music together, we lay down some type of protocol and just kind of guide the bands that are coming in saying, hey guys, this works, this doesn't work. Because as we said, and we'll get there, that we want to see Bouyon go on an international stage, where it's internationally recognized, not just hitting the Caribbean, not just let's go to New York for a week and do a jam, as we say, do a jam in New York and come back. No, Bouyon needs to be something that's on the map as much as soca music, right? Soca is international. So Bouyon needs to get there where it's international. Daniel, just aside from our subject at hand, from a singer songwriter such producer, we know that you have a lot of music. Your music is kind of captures a little bit of what we're talking about when it comes to having like an impact with lyrical content. What can you tell us? Like, what is the recipe? What are the ingredients for putting together music that makes that impact and keeps the quality together?
I mean, for me personally, I feel like I write with a purpose. So when I'm writing a song, I'm not thinking, oh, I'm gonna make a hit. I'm thinking to myself, I want to express something. There's something I want to say. So it's usually, for me, it will start off as a journal. It could just be journaling my feelings and my thoughts about a certain situation, or it could be sometimes talking on a political matter or talking about something, and then kind of formulate that into music after. But it would first start from the truth of whatever it is. I mean, there are times, of course, where sometimes it starts from a beat and there's just a vibe and you're feeling it and you'll kind of be a bit playful, but I'm always still a bit cautious that of what I'm actually putting out, because I do care about the impact that it has on people, and I do hold myself responsible for what I'm putting out as well.
And I personally, as a female, as an entrepreneur, just as a young person, a young adult, I see us as the future, current and future. We're the ones who are going to be holding the torch, so to speak. And for me, as a female, I feel like a lot of the lyrics out there, it's not good for females. It gets a little bit too extreme with the explicit lyrics. I'm just being straight up, guys. This is what we're here for. It gets a little bit too explicit with the lyrics, and we kind of have to watch what we say, especially when it comes to women and just the vulgarity of the music. If you get me, like as an artist, if you want to go and perform internationally, you have to think about appealing to a larger audience. You're not going to be saying vulgar things for your larger audience. Not everybody's going to be receptive to that, even though we are in a world where we accept a lot more. Do you guys have anything to add with that, or do you guys disagree with me?
I actually agree with that because Recently, well, Dominicans were listening. Recently, I've got songs that have been playing, on the streets and in the clubs, and I think they can attest to that. I think it's too direct. I mean, those same songs can be, the words can be changed around, and they could mask it some way, but it's really too direct because there's a lot of, songs about women and things you could do to women and anything about women that are out there. For example, dancehall in particular, majority of dancehall songs would be, sexual, in, if I should say, but the way they sing it and the way they put the words together, it's not so straight up in your face. You understand? So yeah, I totally agree to what you said.
Right. Right. I mean, the female form is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. And we like to have a good time, but I mean, we wanna get back to a place where we have a little bit more positive messages. I think we have like an
Yeah.
influx of too many. I'm not sure what we're following. If it's the soca, are we trying to do it like Trinidad? I don't know, but I'm
I
kind of.
doubt.
What
I
is
feel
it?
like it's the culture in general because if
Yeah,
you even look at the top 40 in the US right now, it's kind of degrading in sense of what they're saying and it's direct.
yeah,
So it's kind of like where the culture is going. Everyone is pretty bold and savage, as they like to call themselves. But there's nothing wrong with going back to traditional songwriting techniques where you tell a story and by the end of the song have a completely different emotion than when you started because something just changed. But with
right.
Bouyon, a lot of times you don't get that. From the time the first four bars hit, you know what to expect for the whole song. Right?
Yeah,
No, it's serious thing. And but the thing about we don't understand about culture, and it's kind of a little bit sad because I see that we're all not we, but we're all catching on with whatever is going on right now. But the thing about culture is the way of life of the people. The way of life can change today. We don't have to catch on to what's going on. There's still time for us to preserve, the true elements. Daniel, what do you think? You're a singer songwriter. You're all in the business. What do you think?
I feel like what I feel like what's changed is the mentality of people in music as well. I think they just want to go viral and they just want to be famous and they just want to make a hit song and they're just looking at what other people are doing and it worked and also controversy tends to sell because it shocks people and people go, oh, look at this, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and it just kind of passes on. I mean, to be honest, I think at this point I don't know why it surprises people. I don't know why it's controversial because it's in like every song at the moment anyway.
right.
You know what I mean? So for some reason, it's the one thing that people don't really get bored of. um,
For now.
until,
For now,
until
I
the
used to
next
like
until the next thing comes around.
yeah, it's a thing for now. But guys, real quick, 5 seconds. Just tell me what is your favorite Booyah song? Go.
Favorite, it's hard, but I can tell you one artist I really like, and the song. I think Starsha is amazing. I think Starsha, she makes some really quality Bouyon music. I think what's that song? Oh, okay. Let me come back with the name because I can't remember.
Come on, Era, give me
My
something.
song is kind of like a controversy between me, but that one song, Isabantan Do Something Crazy, that's my song.
Woo! That's
That's my
high
song.
energy. That is
That's my
high
song.
energy.
Yeah,
That's high energy. What about you, Era? Which
yeah,
one
them
takes the cake
drums,
for
that's
you?
it.
Hmm. That's a really hard question because I like majority of the songs.
Right?
Yeah, I like majority of Booyah songs. It's just the lyrical contents kind of like throw me off, but majority of them I actually like them. I like actually like that WCK song when they did Carnival, that hot song they did Carnival. People claimed they were dead and they came back
They
to
came
life
back. I know. I remember the
around that
carnival.
time.
767?
Right,
No, was it
767.
767? Yeah,
70,
yeah.
77 was one
Yeah,
of them, but not
in
that,
that
but not
era.
767 exactly, but it's in that, yeah, in that time frame. Yeah, that
That
time
was a
frame.
good carnival.
It was a good
I
era.
think Nai was the one that was singing that song.
I think that was my
I
favorite
think
era, as
I think Hold
Mekhel
Them, that
said.
was it. Hold Them.
Hold them. That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. You're
I
right.
like Hold Them. I really like Hold
That
Them.
I remember that. That created like I can remember that carnival. I was there, and then if you were standing anywhere on the truck or anywhere in the heights, just a
Right.
wave of people just losing it. It was crazy. Hold them. That was the song for the year. That
Yeah,
was the
Hold
song for
Them.
the year.
I really
My
like Hold
favorite
Them.
I would say is have two, right? I mean, I like a lot of Bouyon songs, lyrical content or not. I like Sorti Desan, that can never die for me. Like
Esclave.
Esclave, Sorti Desan, and I also like as of recent, I like Rio's Ruta's Paradise. I do because the Maria thing,
Yeah.
that was hard on us, and we came a long way. And I love how Rio came out and like just kind of told that story. He's like, I'm not encouraging looting, but this is what happened. I like that. I like that. Daniel, do you remember the name of that song that you're thinking of?
I do. I do. It's Starsha Body. Do you know what it was
Yes.
for that about that song? That
Yeah,
song
body.
to me. I don't know why Mekhel's shaking his head. I'm gonna ask in a second, but but that song for me, I feel like that song could cross over. Like I remember sending her a message saying to her, "Look, push this in the UK because I think genuinely people in the UK would love this." So yeah, that's why I rate it. I think it's an international hit. Yeah,
I
that's
went
bad.
for
That's bad.
you.
Yeah.
That is a
Yeah,
nice. You're right. You're right. That's the
Es,
song. That's the song.
es,
Dasher,
Yeah.
Esclave has
and
has a nice song I really like.
which
I
one
feel
is
like a
that?
lot of the I feel like a lot of the down tempo booyahs can cross over very
They
easily.
can. They
And
can.
It
love
is, yeah. That's a
or
potential.
a lot of
Stasha
them
has
are
great quality,
listenable.
so Stasha can cross over. You know,
Definitely.
there are a lot. Even Rio's Lotus Paradise can cross over because there is lyrical
Definitely.
quality in
Exactly.
there.
Yeah, it has
There's
a nice
content in there.
storyline.
There's content in
If
there.
somebody don't know what sock salt is, they'll learn. You check?
Yeah,
So another
exactly. You
thing,
um,
know,
the in terms of that Starsha song, and also, it's like, okay, lyrically, it's like a pop song. It hasn't, it's about body, like, but her vocals were amazing, and so that's another element as well, which I think can be enhanced with Bouyon, where there could be a little bit more vocal, a bit more singing. There's a girl called Katana from Dominica. I think her name's Katana, and
No.
she can sing, man. She did I remember she did a cover of LMA Booed Up, a Bouyon remix, and I was like, that is amazing. That would really bring Bouyon over to the world, because if you're doing songs that people love, like pop songs, it could be a Whitney Houston, it could be I Want to Dance with Somebody, but sung by a Dominican artist in a Bouyon style. I think that was a great thing that they did, and yeah.
let's talk about performance, guys, because we gotta wrap up pretty soon. We've
Hmm.
seen a lot of performances. We've seen these bands perform. We have been to what we call in Dominica a jam, right? A jam. What do Dominicans need for it to be a jam? We need a band. We need a dark place. It could be a parking lot, 600 people,
and a good
20,
song system.
and a good song system. It don't have to be good, but we jamming, right?
There needs to
That's
be
what
bass.
we.
There needs to be bass.
And some bass and some
PTSD on that
drums
one there.
and some
Doesn't have to be good.
drums and a guitar, right? We need Mekhel on the stage giving us the guitar, right? Right? So we have jams. That's what we call it, a jam. Let's talk about performance wise. And right now we're pretty much zooming in on where we want to see Bouyon next level. We've seen the performances. We know that the Creole Festival is where an artist gives their best performance from a Dominican standpoint, right? Creole Festival or World Creole Music Festival, this is our stage. This is where all the artists come and say, this is what we do. We're going to rock your world. I was at the last Creole Festival, and I'm not going to talk about Asa. Asa is the Bouyon king when it comes to performance. It's like, there's nobody. There's nobody. Like, to be honest, you know, some of the songs, they're not my favorite because of the lyric. But when it comes to performance, there's nobody that comes close to Asa right now, right? He's the Bouyon king, right? I don't care. I'm not even gonna take any disagreement. This is a statement. This is not a question. Asa is the Bouyon
He
king.
has the most
You know,
stamina, most power, most
If
finesse.
he's sponsoring this,
Asa is the Bouyon king when it comes. Like he spares no expense when it comes to performance. Right? Asa will come in on a horse if he has to, which is what he did. You know, he's the Bouyon king. He's kind of like Dice. Dice is the king of Calypso because his performance is on punto. It's on point, right? But let's talk about the other bands. You know, to be honest, guys, the last Creole Festival I was there, and I wasn't. I don't know. I feel like those dance moves need a little bit of coordination for a couple of the Bouyon bands that perform. I wasn't happy. There's a difference between throwing the street jam. You know, all you got to do is wave that rag and jump. But we want to see Bouyon on an international stage. What from performance wise, can you guys share any views? I'm going to ask Daniel first because he's also a performer. What do you think is necessary? What advice can you give?
I mean, personally, I don't I don't think it's essential for them to like have choreographed moves necessarily, but I think as long as the energy is high, as long as the energy is matching, and as long as they are engaging the crowd, then because I think nowadays there's a lot more focus on lights and backup dancers and there's a lot less focus on the actual music and a lot less focus on the talent. So I think as long as the talent's there and they're really engaging and they're present, they are with the crowd, they are in that moment with the crowd, and I think that can be, I think that's all they need to do. But I think absolutely in terms of what people, that's, I mean, that's my preference, but in terms of what people want, I think people do like all the lights display and dances and choreographed routines and whatnot. So I think that is something they could look at. I don't know if yeah, actually it's something that I think could help crossover.
What about you, Mekhel?
Bouyon performances, it's very tough because to keep that high energy for long, it's very demanding. But when you cross over to that, when you cross over that stamina bar, it's like a lot of the performance can deliver. But I think it's a thing about if you expecting more, like on a Creole festival stage, for instance, it comes down to the money that's being pumped in. Because you can tell a story on a stage, but you can only do so much without enough affluence behind you to tell that story more efficiently. For example, one time, Issa came in to a concert to World Creole Music Festival in a coffin. In a coffin. A coffin is not cheap.
I tell
Some
you, the
people
boy is a
can't even,
king. The boy is the
you know
Bouyon
what?
king.
Some people can't even afford to die right about now, and he's buying this coffin beforehand. Anyways, but that's not the point. Point is, I think the incentive when paying performers on a stage should match the level that they should put up. So it's a symbiotic kind of relationship because we're not receiving much compensation for the performance. So sometimes when we do receive a little extra bucks for that World Creole Music Festival stage, why should we want to just spend more money on pyrotechnics and visuals
Props.
when we can pocket the
On
money?
props,
Yeah.
right? No,
Yeah, it's kind of like a mixed bag where it needs a bit of a push from the people that request in the Bouyon music to actually, put their money where their mouth is and request what it is that they want from the artist. And then the artist will deliver because I know the performers that we call for Bouyon on Creole Festival, they always perform, they always deliver. But it's a matter of how much can they deliver, you know what I mean?
what about you, Era? What do you think?
Yeah, I would go with a little more a musical arrangement in terms of transitioning into different songs, and then
Mm.
again back to what Mekhel was saying, the amount of money pumped into the the whole setting. If like based on what he was saying, they can actually achieve more when they do more arrangements and transitioning into something. Because remember, each song tells us a story, each song tells something. And so I think like with Bouyon music specifically, transitioning into songs and maybe doing a lot of musical arrangements would be a plus when it comes to Bouyon music. Because if you look at soca, when the soca artists come and perform, they do an excellent job in transitioning into different songs and do a lot of in between or impromptu performances or impromptu vibe, impromptu little stuff in between the performance. I think that specifically for Bouyon music would be a plus if we can try and curve that.
I just want to add one thing to that. So yeah, like that, the having a musical director or having musical direction is so key when putting on shows. And I think I don't know if they do that. I don't know what their process is, but I think that's also what I mean in terms of going with the crowd, like really focusing on actually entertaining the crowd. A little break section where you do something really creative, you do something
Right.
different, you remix two songs together. There's so many different things that you can do, even if you don't have the budget to come in on a coffin, for example.
Right.
So yeah, yeah.
Thanks for adding that, Daniel, because I was actually thinking the same thing. We've spoken a bit about adding props and what can be done. Like I said, A side the Bouyon King, but you don't need props. You just need to kind of think of the music as an actual art form. I don't think we've embraced that 100% as yet. If you think about it that way, then when a painter paints, he knows like you trace and then you add these lines and then you add then you paint there and you paint there. There's when you're performing, it's kind of like the same thing, right?
Mhm.
There has to be some twists, some turns, some creativity. There can be a point where you just kind of come close, connect with the crowd, feel the energy, get the people involved, and ASA does that really well. But yeah, generally, yeah, it's I think it's very important that we start thinking of it like that, especially for the younger artists now coming up. Signal Band gives one of my favorite bands out right now. I can tell you this.
Mhm.
Signal Band, the music is on point, the lyrics on point. Everybody's involved. For those of you just joining us, we're doing this for Bouyon Day. Generation Y has an awesome panel. We started off with a panel of five. But guys, we just want to wrap up. Thank you for sharing with us today. Like, I just want to ask, just to close the curtains on this, where do you guys want to see the Bouyon? Where do you guys want to see the Bouyon go? Aaron, I'm going to start with you.
Well, first off, before the Bouyon goes like anywhere, I would like to see like the structure and the foundation put in place. So like musicians can have a voice through a medium where a medium that can lead us or hear us internationally and maybe to the governments like if we need any assistance. So first of all, the structure needs to be done. That's the only thing I want for the Bouyon music right now. Once that's in place, the Bouyon music will, it will reach right after it. And everybody else who is involved will put in the work and will do whatever they have to do to get their people regionally, internationally. They'll just basically do what it takes to get the music out there, but we need the structure first, and that's what I'm looking at.
Mekhel, what about you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, where I want to see the Bouyon music, personally, I want to see a Bouyon orchestra being born somewhere, somehow. So, like, even though a lot of the rhythms are being created electronically, one instrument should be designated to one person, and that would be an entire orchestra playing and jamming with Bouyon music, just to keep people together, get people with the idea of Bouyon music itself before they even come to the controversy of how the lyrics becomes what it is, and maybe strives to be better.
Daniel?
Yeah. So for me, of course, I think we all want to see Bouillon be, international and globally recognized. And I think that in terms of the product, just more work on the quality of it for some of the music, not all, because there is a lot that is actually quite high quality, but just lyrically and production wise and vocally, etc. But also once that's done, marketing, looking at international marketing, looking at the fact that there's the internet and everybody's going viral. People from all kinds of small villages are becoming overnight internet successes. And even if it's not overnight, building a YouTube channel, doing whatever you have to do, but the music can absolutely become global. Look more into the videos. There's so many free videos on YouTube with so much information on music marketing, Spotify playlisting, so on and so forth. So if people can look at that, I think that would be amazing. It could be, brought up with soca and brought alongside in those playlists.
Aside from all of this, and these are all very good points, for me, aside from all of this, I want to see three things happen with the Bouyon music. The first one being, lyrical content. I really want to see that improve. I really want to see something that's a little bit less than you know the women songs. I want to see more when it comes to lyrics. I'm just gonna be honest with that. For me, the second thing that I want to see is I want to see more collaboration for artists. I'm tired of seeing too many individual artists popping up and not much collaboration. Like, I just love the energy when all the Bouyon bands can come together and just make this great mashup. COVID is a great time for this, because I like to see all the Bouyon artists come together on a platform like this, on Zoom or whatever, and just putting a song. Like, people want to hear you guys. We want to hear what our artists are saying to empower us during this very difficult time that the world is going through. And my third one would be like what Mekhel was saying. I would like to see a lot of the traditional sounds captured in the music now. I don't want to hear the conch song going away. I don't want to hear the accordion music or the drums going away. It's part of what the whole inception of Bouyon was about, and I want us to just continue capturing that in the rhythm. You know what I'm saying? So that's really important for me. But guys, I will hear from Andrea and Shelly a little bit later. But I want to thank you guys for joining me today. We're representing for Generation Y, Dominica. You guys have any shout out you guys want to give to the generations right now and everybody that's listening internationally?
Yeah, just like I said earlier, in terms of music, just know that wherever you are, even if you're in Dominica, because of the internet, you can do anything. You can start a business from home. You can work internationally. There's ways to do it. It takes consistency, though. It takes a lot of patience. But yeah, through YouTube and channels like that, you can do it.
Mekhel.
Yeah, anyone from Gen Y watching, if you're in the Generation Y as a being as a person, or if you're a part of the Generation Y platform that Dilma is putting together, I wish you like success, hard work, put in the time, and you will see the results. So that's what I'm wishing for everyone outside of that bubble, inside the bubble. But Gen Y, we're taking it to the world.
Taking it to the world. Arade.
Yeah, so for everyone listening and everyone who will be viewing, I just want to say stay positive. Support the music, Dominica music, or not just support the music and entirely. And stay positive, stay safe. That's all.
And you can check these guys out on Instagram, on Facebook, on
Facebook.
YouTube. They've got their own stuff going on, and it's amazing. That's why we got this panel together. Just real quick, just tell us your social media links.
So Danamare Official on Instagram, danamareofficial.com is the website. You can also check me out on Facebook. I think it's also Danamare Official. YouTube as well is Danamare Official. So everything across all platforms. Have a look.
Big, big, big artists. Let's hear from our multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah, but you can check me out on Instagram on Black Out the Drums. You can check me out on Facebook. My name is a bit weird. It's Bees Knees. It's spelled out BeeKnees. So Bees Knees, and you can check me out on YouTube as well. Black on the Drums. I'm planning to post a lot more covers and content here, and probably some original stuff as well. And yeah,
All
that's
right, and then Arade, Maskman, Raddy Moses.
Yeah, so you could check out my Facebook page, Radi Maskman Moses, and I recently just did another like page, which is Maskman the producer, and then I just recently opened up a YouTube channel, which is on the Sonar Production. So that's where most of my single content is going to be released, and there's a project I've been working on which is going to be released very very soon. So you could head over to Sonar Productions on YouTube and subscribe to the page in the meantime. So when that drops, you can see what's going on. And yeah,
So
and
click
Instagram, Radi M3.
Raddy M3. So click that bell on YouTube channel for each of these guys.
Yeah.
Initially we had Jodie Williams with us here. Dominican over there in the US. You could check him out, Boss Road Beats. He makes beats, he produces, sound engineer, everything. And of course, you are tuning in to us here, Generation Y Dominica. Check us out, generationYdominica.org. Guys, thanks for joining us. Happy Bouyon Day, everybody.
Happy Bouyon Day to you
Happy
too.
New Year to you.
Bye.
All
Take
right.
care.